What is going on, everybody? Coming at you with some more OP02 gameplay. This is from my most recent locals, and my first locals, actually. Pretty happy to finally have a local scene here for One Piece. I know that it's been really hard to get into the game just because of the lack of product availability, but you know, it's great to see some faces out and be able to play some games locally. This matchup here is from Crocodile, Purple Blue against Zoro, and both of these lists are improved with some cards from OP02. Unfortunately, I don't have all of my OP02 cards yet, so I'm not playing with a full set of what I'd like to make changes wise to my Crocodile. Once I have all of the cards, I think that I'll be putting out a new deck list profile on the Blue-Purple Crocodile. It's a deck that I have a lot of fun playing, and it's a deck that can be a lot of fun to play. I'm going to go ahead and choose to go first this game because I think being able to go first and hit to 7 Dawn with this deck is super important, because that means you get to play Ivankov, and Ivankov is super good in this deck. It makes you have aggression and defense at the same time. You basically just stall it till your 7 Dawn turn, and then once you hit 7 Dawn, you just basically win the game, in my opinion. Gonna go ahead and play Trafalgar Law here for 1 cost, make sure that I have early protection against Zoro, which can be pretty hard to deal with for this deck. They're gonna go ahead and drop a Sunny. I'm gonna go ahead and active 2 Dawn. I'll place 1 Dawn on my Croc and swing at leader for 6. Getting some chip damage early I think is important, because you do need to finish the game sometimes. And then I'll activate a Baroque Works here, because I only have 4 cards in hand when I activate the card. I should have drawn first and then pick up 1, but I'm going to pick up 1 and then draw. So a little bit of a misplay there, but that's on me. And I'll pass with 1 Dawn up. This kind of shows that I might have a Desert Spada, so I can at least protect against the Sunny swing and the Zoro swing here. Or, you know, if they have a Vista, that could be coming down, and then I'm protecting against at least 1 6k swing. But they're going to go ahead and put 1 Dawn under Sunny, which means I know that there's no Vista coming, so I'll block with my Law there, and then I'll counter out, and then they're going to go ahead and play a Luffy. Luffy's a pretty good card. This is the promo Luffy. That's a 2k counter. Sorry, this is the strike Luffy, actually. That's not the 2k counter, not the promo one. But I'll go ahead and swing my my Croc at the Sunny here. And then for 3 Dawn, I will go ahead and play a Miss All Sunday. And then I will play another Trafalgar Law blocker. The chump blockers are super nice. I think I still have to play 4 of them. Honestly, I'm having a tough time fitting in a lot of purple cards into this deck at this point, because there's just so many nice blue cards that came out, and the purple cards that came out in OP02 weren't super duper great, though there are some pretty sweet counter cards there that I'm thinking about maybe running 1 or 2 of. The Visa is going to come down and pop my Missile Sunday, which is okay. At least there's a Baroque Works in trash for me to grab back. And then they're going to use the Luffy effect to place 2 Dawn underneath it. Solid card in Zoro. It's going to be swinging at 6k most turns. And thankfully my leader is a special, but strike attribute characters cannot kill this Luffy. Nice little alt art though, on the Monkey D Luffy. And they're also going to play another Vista to pop my other blocker, and then I'm going to pay for a Desert Spada just to rearrange the top of my deck to see what I'm looking at right now. And I'm going to look at my hand and I think opt to place it back on the bottom of my deck, which means that I didn't really have anything there. So again, I'll counter out with an Inazuma, and turns passing back here. I do apologize for the camera angle. I'm still got to get used to like how we're going to be placing it locals, just because of how it's set up there. It's a bunch of long tables, but I'll swing 6k here at the Luffy and kill it. Crocodile just wants to control board until you can get your guys out, and then go from there. This is telling you I don't have an Ivankov, so I'll play on the Baroque Works to try and dig deep into my deck. I will grab a Miss All Sunday off the Baroque Works there, and I'll draw off of the Croc. Again, I should be drawing first, I think, not after, but it is what it is. I'll play Missile Sunday and I'll pass back turn with 2 Dawn up. At least this way, my Missile Sunday, I can either do a Love Beam, or I can block with her and grab back that Desert Spada. I want to make sure that I don't take any damage early, which, you know, it's not always easy said and done, but it's, you know, it's important to do so. If you can. Zoro can be hard. This is a bit more mid-range Zoro rather than a more aggressive Zoro. So Zoro's going to put 2 Dawn underneath himself, and then he's going to put 2 Dawn under each of his Vistas, so everyone's swinging at 6, it looks like. So first swing here, I will block with Missile Sunday, and I'll grab back a Desert Spada. Again, super great card. And then there's swing 6 at me again, and then this way I can activate, and I can use the Desert Spada, rearrange top 3 of my deck, put them on top or on bottom. I'll put them back on top, and then I will draw a card off the leader effect here. And then they'll swing Zoro at me here. and I believe I'm just like trying to think about how I want to play this. Do I want to use the Blast Breath? And I will use the Blast Breath here. And there's a bit of a misplay, I think here. No misplay here, actually. Sorry, I thought there was a misplay, maybe with an extra draw there, but no, we're good. I did move Macedonical, so we'll draw here for turn. And we are going to swing at one of the Vistas here, see if they'll counter out. They do end up using a Red Hawk here, which is fine. That's just another card out of hand. I'll play an Inazuma, and I will leave 4 dot up for counter cards. Inazuma's great because when you're low on cards in hand, you can make him 7k. So one of the things here that I can do with him is I can I can pitch a bunch of cards from my hand and then block with him at 7k, but he will Tama and then Vista me, so that's the 3rd Vista of the game, and bye-bye Inazuma. And then we are going to have the Zoro get a Dawn underneath him, and he's going to go ahead and swing 6k at me. I'll pay 2 to play a Love Beam, and I'll draw a card off of that from the leader, from the Love Beam effect, sorry. And then he'll swing at me, and I'll play another one, and I'll draw a card off Love Beam again, because I'm at 3 cards in hand when I'm playing it. And then he's going to swing 6 at me, and I will take this one. And then he'll play another Tony Chopper, presumably to protect. So now I'm in a situation where I have 10 Dawn active, and I'm going to go ahead and pay 7, it looks like, to play a King. This is going to pop the Chopper and a Vista, and I'll return 2 Dawn. At this point, playing the King feels pretty good because I'm not like messing up my curve or anything. I'm going to swing 6 at the other Vista, and I've effectively cleared most of his board with 2 Dawn still active. So 7-drop King, I think, is probably one of the purple cards that's going to do the best in this meta. I think that the 6-drop King is not super great, and then board wipe Kaido I think is a bit too slow. I think I think King super duper good in this meta. It hits a lot of cards. It's really good against green. With Okiku, it's really good against things like Vista and Sunny and Chopper and things like that. So I think it's really good in this meta. I'm gonna go ahead and use a Love Beam and a Teach to counter out of the 9k swing, and I'll draw 2 cards thanks to the Crocodile effect and the Love Beam effect. And then I think we're gonna hit an 11k swing from the Vista here. 10k swing from the Vista here, and I think I say that I could counter out of this, but there's no point in pitching my entire hand at this point in the game just to protect. So I know I'm gonna be able to clear board here, so I'll draw for turn, and I think the best course of action is to clear this Vista with my King. There's no chance he's gonna counter it. I'd rather it just die for sure, and that way I actually get some damage on his leader, because I'm not at 2 life now at this point. So I'll swing 6k at leader here, and that will be taken because he's lower on hand right now. So then I'll drop a Queen here, and I'll -1 of my Rasa Dawn, and I will draw 2, and I think I pitch a Crocodile, which is the new Crocodile from the OP02, which is a 5-drop 7k vanilla, and then I'm going to play a Trafalgar Law and pass back turn. I have 2 life left, so even if he has like Diablo Jambe, it's not going to do too much to my board, and I can still protect against like other rush cards. Even with Rush Luffy here at this point, it's not a tall task for me to protect, and I think at this point he really needs to get rid of my King. If he can't deal with my King, then my King's just going to keep taking away anybody that he plays on board. So he'll play the Rush Luffy here, and paying 5, and then he'll slot 3 Dawn underneath him. Now, the benefit about the deck that I'm playing is that I've used so many counter cards early, the event card counters, so that I have a lot of 2k counters left in my hand. So he'll swing 10k here, and I'll counter out with 2 Bon Clays, and then 2 1k counters. Oh, sorry, 3 2k counters there, and then I'll Blast Breath the Zoro swing, and I'll draw 2 cards because of the Crocodile effect, and then he'll play a Chopper to pass turn because he wants to protect against, he wants to protect his Luffy if he can, which is smart play. At this point, I'm just going to leave 1 Dawn underneath my Crocodile, and I'm going to swing 6 at the Luffy to force out a counter. I'll swing 7 at the Luffy to either force a block, and so because that happened, I'm like, well, I want to guarantee this Luffy dies this turn, because that's a resource that he invested. So I believe that I just slot like 4 Dawn under Queen. I'm like, he's got like 3 cards in hand. I'm like, I don't want him to be able to counter at 12k. So I swing over and I pass back turn with 3 Dawn up. The one thing about the purple Crocodile deck is that when you're winning, you're playing the game very slowly. It's very much a control deck. While your control is just drawing cards through countering and eventually just outlasting your opponent to where they've got nothing left. They got no answers to what your game plan is. And, you know, things like Shanks here are pretty strong, but because I have blockers and I have 3 Dawn active, even if you were to Shanks and swing at my king, it would be pretty easy for me to counter out of it, even at 10k. It just requires a Desert Spada plus a 2k counter. So I'm just trying to figure out the best way to build the new Crocodile deck based on what came out in OP02. I think playing 4 Mr. 3, Mr. Galdino is pretty good. I think playing 4 Ivankov is insane. I don't think you actually need to play the 7-drop Crocodile anymore that reduces your blue event costs because it's too slow. But we're going to see a Zoro swing at 7k and I'll block with my Law here. I know that it's going to be useless against things like Shanks in the future. It's going to be useless against Diablo Jambe, so I'd rather just get it off the board and just use it without having to commit cards from my hand. And then he's going to think what he has to do because I have 4 cards in hand still, and he wants to look at my trash, see what I've used. And I think at this point I've used like 4 Love Beams or 3 Love Beams, and he's like, oh god, is there potential for another Love Beam in your hand? And I'm like, yeah, there's potential. I've gone through about half my deck. So I'll play Otama on my queen here, and then he'll play a Rush Luffy, which he will then make unblockable. So I'm putting at 9k and at my queen, which is now 4k. So I need to counter 6k, which I'll play a Level Up Beam and a Desert Spada, which is 6k, and I'll draw 2 cards. And protect my queen. And that's another 2k counter out of his hand, which means I know that his Luffy is going to be pretty easy pickings. So again, I'm just looking to control the board here. My opponent has 2 cards in their hand, so I know that if I just play this right, then he can't really deal. So I'll swing 10k at his Luffy. I don't want it living, making sure that he cannot be countered. And then I'll pay 1 to play a Mr. Daw's Bones, which is going to let me take back that Desert Spada that I just played from my trash. Daw's Bones is another great addition to this deck. Being able to recycle your Desert Spadas is super duper nice. And then I'm going to swing 6 at leader with my Croc. And then I'm going to pay... Just trying to think about what my next move is here, because I don't want to get, I don't want to leave no Dawn active, because then I can get Diablo Jambade, and they can kill my king, which would be a pretty huge blow to my board. So I'm just gonna protect some stuff here. So he's gonna swing 14k at leader, and I'm just like, I'm gonna block that, and I think for a second I'm like, okay, I have enough to counter out and protect my queen. So what I end up doing is I just end up countering out of it, and drawing off that Blast Breath. And he wants to make sure that I'm just minusing everything properly. So I had 5 on active, and then I ended up drawing, revealing out the Spada, and then drawing a card. I think I drew an extra card there by accident, but I think at this point in the game it doesn't really matter that I did. But I'm going to swing king at leader here, swing 6k at leader and see if they counter, and they do counter it out, which is fine. Because, again, he's got 3 1 costs. So I'll pay 7 here to play a Mr. Ivankov, and I'll draw a card, and then I'll play my Galdino, because Ivankov lets me draw a card. And I've got 2 Dawn active for some event cards, and I definitely have game next turn, because he's got 2 cards in hand. He's got a bunch of bodies that do nothing. He's going to play Nami to search for something, potentially, that he can use. And he sees a lot of nothing, unfortunately, it looks like. So he grabs a Diablo Jambe, which is his only play, but I still have 2 life left. So, I mean, even if he manages to Diablo Jambe and swing at me for this much, which is really his only play, unless he has something usable in his deck, then the game is just over. So I personally think that this matchup's pretty hard for Zoro unless you're playing the super aggro one, because of all the counter power that this deck has. So Diablo Jambe on his Zoro, he'll load it up and swing at me, and I'm just like, I'll take it, no biggie. And then he passes back with 2 Dawn active for a Red Hawk, but the thing is, Red Hawk can just, all it can kill is my Daw's Bones. He's got a blocker. I'll swing 7 with Ivankov, because if he uses the Red Hawk, he uses the Red Hawk, it's not a big deal. and it's, you know, so he'll block with the chopper here. So I swing 5 with that, and he'll use a Brook to counter out. And then I swing a 7, which I believe he then uses the Red Hawk to kill my Daz Bones and counter out of. And then from that point onward, it's just 10 from Queen, and then it is 11 from my Crocodile, and that is game. Blue-purple Croc taking a dub at locals and taking the Nami and Robin dual mat. Beautiful gameplay, beautiful mat, and thanks everyone for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I'm hoping to go out to more locals and build up my local scene here. But until next time, Monty out.